The phrase money can't buy happiness is as old as time itself, but there has never been a straightforward answer because the response you get completely depends on the individual's tax bracket. Personally, money would solve about 99% of my problems, so that's why in today's video, we are going to explore if money can buy happiness or not.
We break barriers. We do everything to get rich, we do everything to stay rich, and do everything to stay richer.
The human experience is actually quite consistent. We will all have relatively the same problems as we go through life. The only thing that sets us apart is the amount we have in our bank accounts when we go through said problems. Here's a little visualizer to provide a visual of what I'm trying to visualize to you. Most people will at some point go through a breakup. Now, would you rather go through said breakup with $10 in your bank account or with $10,000? But before you make that decision, here's what each option looks like. Your girlfriend breaks up with you. It's all very sad. She just doesn't love you anymore. You're heartbroken. You cry and cry until you ultimately decide to eat your feelings away. Damn, there's no food at home. That's okay, you could always order food. Damn, you're broke. Now you're heartbroken and hungry. But you have some money in your savings account. You could always withdraw some cash for an emergency. Damn. Rent's due next month, and you were already late on last month's payment. Now you're hungry, heartbroken, and on the brink of eviction. You had sleep for dinner that night. Here's what the same situation looks like with $10,000 in your bank account. Your girlfriend breaks up with you. It's all very sad. She just doesn't love you anymore. You're heartbroken. You cry and cry until you ultimately decide to eat your feelings away. Damn, there's no food at home. But that's okay, you order food because you're Mr. Money Man, Mr. Big 10 Bands. And you just don't order any food, you order the finest steak and feast like a Viking. You're full, but lonely. So you head out to a club with some of your guy friends. You guys splurge out and buy the most expensive rounds of champagne. And soon enough, your table is surrounded by attractive women. After some playful banter with a group of girls, you lock eyes with one of them. She's gorgeous, by far the most attractive girl in that group. You approach her with unwavering confidence because you feel like the man right now. She's receptive to your advances, and the chemistry between you is so strong that you don't even remember the girl that broke your heart just a few hours ago. You go home with the beautiful girl you just met, and you had her for dinner that night. Sorry. Now, after explaining both of those scenarios to you, which one were you happiest in? The one where you had money, or the one where you didn't? Money doesn't work in linear, there is always a lot of nuance to it. For example, a 20-something-year-old with no ties or responsibilities on $25k a year is probably thinking, I wonder how much it would cost me to put a loud exhaust on my 2002 Volkswagen Polo. But a 40-year-old man with child support payments, alimony, a mortgage and credit card debt on $25k a year is probably thinking, wow, women are the worst. But he's just being biased. Children are the worst. Women are a close second though. Your level of wealth is pretty obvious. You can usually distinguish between people who have and people who don't. But some of you might not, and I'm here to help you see the signs so you can avoid the riffraff. At the very low end of the income scale is the unemployed, drug addict on government welfare, or really anyone with an art degree. These people make up roughly about 10% of the population, and at some point your parents have told you to avoid them. The other 80% are the average Joes of the world. We have regular incomes, drive regular cars, and have regular houses, and whether we are happy or not is completely dependent on our situations. Again, a 20-something-year-old with no ties or responsibilities earning a median income is likely living like a king. But give the same income to a middle-aged man with child support and crippling debt, then all of a sudden, he's suffering from stress-induced male pattern baldness and erectile dysfunction. The next 9% of the world are relatively rich people, whether from inheritances or owning businesses or having really high paying jobs. These people fit into regular society very well because a lot of them are smart enough to not flaunt their wealth. They go to the same places you do, wear the same clothes you do, so really watch out for these people, and if you happen to be friends with them, make sure you make them feel bad for not having the same struggles you do. The top 0.9% of the population are usually celebrities, athletes, and extremely successful business owners. A lot of people aspire to be like these guys, but they don't really understand that for the most part, the only thing separating them from everyone else is just material possessions. These people still don't really have any free will. Most athletes are contractually obligated to exercise and practice at least 5 days a week and eat whatever their dietitian puts on a plate. Sure, LeBron James could probably buy my entire family tree, but I can eat ice cream and skip leg day whenever I want. So Suck it, LeBron James, I guess. However, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't like to be in this percentile, even if only for a day, because this is the point where you don't pay to wear clothes. You get paid to wear clothes. You don't pay to go, you get paid to come. You can have sex with anyone you want after they sign an NDA. When my friend laughs at my jokes, I believe he actually finds them funny. When Drake's friends laughs at his jokes, he's not sure if it was actually funny or if they're only laughing because he's rich and famous. The next 0.01% of the population are the mega wealthy business owners, the Elon Musks and the Richard Bransons of the world. You know who these people are, yet they try to act like one of us by dressing and doing activities that normal people engage in. One of the biggest crutches that people have when it comes to finance is debt. Debt is accumulated through the purchase of things you can't afford with money that isn't yours. And this isn't always a terrible thing. There are good debt that allow you to invest in yourself and your future, like business loans, mortgages, and education. Kind of. There are also bad debts like credit cards, holidays, cars. Seriously, one of the funniest ways guys get into debt is through purchasing cars they can't afford to impress girls that aren't into them. If you can't attract her without those external indicators of value, then she probably isn't for you, bro. How easy it is to get out of debt is completely dependent on the person and the amount. For example, if you have debts of under 5k, then living frugally and saving as much as you can by cutting out non-essentials is the best play. You should be able to pay it off eventually. If you have debts of over 10k, I advise you to start looking to sell an organ or two on the black market. Did you know that you could potentially get 10,000 for a kidney? Sure, you'd be a felon, but you'd be a debt-free felon. One of the few reasons people strive to make a lot of money is to impress women, their friends, and most importantly, strangers who have no idea who they are. And unfortunately for us, companies know this, and they are more than okay with taking advantage. For example, Apple releasing the same phone every year, knowing that most people will buy it regardless of whether they can afford it or not. Other big brands like Nike and Adidas do this too, where they sell their shoes at insane markups because they know people will buy them anyways. It costs Nike about $30 to make a single pair, but they will sell them to us at almost 5 times that price. Again, I don't blame these huge companies because if I had the funds and the brains to sigh up an entire generation, I would do it too. First, it'd be just for the money. You know, I'd be another businessman hypnotized by capital greed. But when I inevitably get bored of the money, I just do it for the power, man. Just to prove that I can get you Porsche money. Guys often realize at an older age that getting the car you can't afford on finance and copying the overpriced luxury branded clothes won't get you laid. The person actually getting fucked is the 12-year-old Chinese sweatshop worker getting paid $5 for a 72-hour shift. Now, if you were to ask him if money could buy his happiness, what do you think he would say?